For decades, the stereotype that British people have bad teeth has persisted in popular culture, particularly among American audiences. It's often played for laughs in films, television shows, and casual conversations, reinforcing an outdated and actually inaccurate image of Britain and its teeth. Recently, the controversy surrounding the portrayal of British actress Amy Lou Wood in a Saturday Night Live sketch reignited discussion about how pervasive these stereotypes are. But beyond jokes and jabs, what does the evidence actually say about British dental health compared to Americans? And why does this myth persist in the modern world when information is more accessible than ever and you can just look it up? This video aims to break down the facts, explore the cultural roots of these assumptions, and reflect on why it's time to retire this stereotype. The stereotype of British people having poor dental hygiene can be traced back to the early 20th century. But it was fueled by cultural and economic differences, not necessarily clinical realities. In post-World War II Britain, the country faced significant economic hardship, obviously. Luxuries, which included cosmetic dentistry, were far out of reach for the average citizen. In contrast, the United States experienced a post-war economic boom. And they started rapidly embracing cosmetic improvements, including orthodontics and teeth whitening, as part of a growing consumer culture. American media, especially Hollywood, soon began portraying bad teeth as a shorthand for British characters or villains. This association was further cemented by popular shows, films, and ads that highlighted bright, perfect American smiles while looking at the British smile as somehow inferior. However, from the very beginning, these portrayals confused two very different issues. Oral health, which is the medical condition of your teeth and gums, and cosmetic appearance, which is the straightness and whiteness of your teeth. While cosmetic standards diverged between the US and the UK, there was no medical basis for claiming that British people had worse dental health. In a 2015 study published by the British Medical Journal, researchers compared dental health between the United States and England using two key metrics: the number of missing teeth and self-rated oral health. The results were eye-opening. Americans had an average of 7.31 missing teeth. Obviously, this is an average. Most people weren't missing points of a teeth, but they were missing 7.31 teeth compared to 6.97 for Brits. They also found that socioeconomic inequalities in dentistry were more pronounced in the United States. In other words, statistically speaking, the average Brit actually had slightly better dental health outcomes than the average American. Sure, American celebrities may have been flashing their pearly white smiles, but take a look at the average person's teeth who didn't have access to such cosmetic resources, and the results were pretty different. Additional studies from UCL corroborated these findings, emphasizing that differences in dental health outcomes are much more strongly linked to socioeconomic factors, such as access to dental care, public health policies, and education. It wasn't linked to national characteristics. The UK's NHS has long provided free or subsidized dental care for many, ensuring broader access across social classes. US dental care is always privatized and expensive, leading to greater disparities between wealthy and lower income populations. So the idea that British people have worse dental health isn't just wrong, it's actually the reverse of the truth in most cases. Now, the resurfacing of this old stereotype came into sharp focus in April of 2025 when Saturday Night Live aired a parody of the TV show The White Lotus's third season. The sketch mocked British actress Amy Lou Wood by exaggerating her teeth and accent in a pretty crude and cartoonish way. Wood, who is known for her roles in The White Lotus and previous shows, responded publicly, calling the portrayal mean and unfunny. She pointed out that instead of making fun of her character's traits or the show's plot, the sketch reduced her to a physical British stereotype because her teeth were not as perfect as her American co-stars. They were natural. And one of the key misunderstandings at the heart of this British teeth stereotype is the confusion between dental health and dental aesthetics. In the United States, the pursuit of the perfect smile is closely tied to ideals of success, beauty, and social status. Cosmetic dentistry, which is teeth whitening, veneers, and orthodontics, is a multi-billion-dollar industry, but it doesn't necessarily mean that your teeth are healthy. In Britain, there's traditionally less emphasis on cosmetic perfection. Slightly crooked or naturally colored teeth are more culturally accepted and even seen as part of an individual's unique character, and dental hygiene brain is still very important. British people generally value healthy teeth, not perfect-looking teeth. Americans, on the other hand, often value perfect-looking teeth, sometimes independent of actual dental health or even caring if the teeth are real. This is again another example reflecting different cultural priorities between the USA and the UK. And also, let's be honest, let's follow the money. A lot of dentistry in the UK is private and is becoming even more privatized with less NHS dentists, but all American dentistry is for profit with no options of subsidies or help. There is an even higher incentive in the US for the dental industry to convince you that your teeth need to be straighter and whiter, because they'll make money from it. I'm not suggesting that all dentists are sitting there wringing their hands over the payday they're about to get. There are arguments that many people feel more confident with certain looking teeth or it makes them happier with their appearance, but we can't ignore the follow the money argument either. And again, as a personal anecdote of what I have seen, the Americans have good teeth stereotype is further driven by the fact that Americans who are in the world's eye are typically those in politics and in Hollywood. You're not seeing the teeth of people in America who live in a poor rural community without access to dental care. It looks very different. Now that brings me to the end of this video. Were you surprised by the statistics that the UK has better dental health than the USA? Leave your comments below and I'll see you next time.